Hi, I'm Jared Willits, and welcome to, for perhaps some of you, the 21st time for My Thoughts for What They're Worth, episode number 21. We're entitling this thing "What He Said." Get to that in a second, but first, if you like where we're going with the podcast, you enjoy it, I would really appreciate a like if you like it, and a share would be really nice. And the ultimate, of course, would be a subscribe. So if you subscribe, you know at a moment's notice when a new episode or something else hits the channel on YouTube or perhaps Spotify, wherever you get my thoughts. I never thought, I matter of fact, I told myself never do something like this, but I'm going to anyway, because I enjoyed and think so much of the book. You may be familiar with Bill Maher. His show currently on HBO, Real Time with Bill Maher. He's been around for a long, long time, written a number of books. This is his latest one. It's called What This Comedian Said Will Shock You. I don't know if it'll shock you or not, but it'll make you think, that's for sure. He talks about politics a lot. He talks about the things that are wrong with this country and how maybe we can start fixing them, so on and so forth. Now, Bill Maher, he's I think he calls himself or refers to himself as a old school liberal. But he is an equal opportunity basher across the board. If people are doing stupid stuff and being crazy, well, he brings it out and explains to them what they're doing wrong and why they should stop doing it. So he's equal opportunity on either side. His work is thoughtful and funny. That's the best part. He'll get you thinking for a second, and then he'll get you laughing. And I have, at least on a few chapters, tried to read it in Bill's voice and try to match his comedic timing, which is flawless, by the way, and that's kind of fun. But again, the book is really very, very thoughtful. His thoughts can be tough. His language can be strong, and with some of the things he talks about, he gets down to the language of the common man. If that sort of thing would bother you, I wouldn't get the book. But if it's okay with you, and it's used appropriately, I think we had talked about that in an episode a while back, using the official bad words effectively, which he does. There are a few things in there that made me say, "Oh, come on, Bill." And I think in many ways that was the point. We are in this country so far away from each other. There's this side and there's that side. There are the good guys and the bad guys, and it depends on which side you're on, what you call. And we don't talk to each other. We really don't. People, Thanksgiving dinner, that old thing, don't talk politics or religion. Which, by the way, is solid advice. We don't talk, we don't listen, we don't even try to listen to anybody. And that's what he talks about a lot in the book, a lot about that. But when he goes down all the things that the crazies on this side and that side are doing, it really brings it to light about how silly, how stupid, ineffective, and hurtful and harmful to the country it really, really is. Again, it'll offer, I think, perhaps for you, it did for me, some new understanding about the way things are going in this country and how we can get down to a better place. I think we only hope. So that I just wanted to mention that. It's called What This Comedian Said Will Shock You by Bill Maher. It's really a great book. I really feel he was the preacher and I was the choir, because I think in many ways we're kind of alike politically. As you may know, I am unaffiliated. I just finally couldn't deal with it anymore, because the crazies on each side are getting the lion's share of the pub, and they're kind of taken over, where people who aren't so crazy are kind of lost in the distance. I'm unaffiliated. We used to call that being on the fence, and it used to be people who were on the fence were criticized. Pick a side. Get on a team. I'm perfectly fine being on the fence and in the middle, because I truly believe there are some conservative thoughts and values that I agree with. There's some which I think are really, really awful. Same thing with liberal things. There are liberal ideas that are really very good, and some crazy stuff which is really, really very bad. And I like to think I think for myself, which, by the way, would be a great message I could give to members of Congress. Start thinking for yourself for a change instead of being a congressional lemming. Might help. Anyway, the book again is called What This Comedian Said Might Shock You, and it's really a good read. And while I'm on it, I'm just going to do this too, because before this book I read The Boys in the Boat. What another great book. The story of the 9 guys, young guys, and their dreams and their hopes for Olympic gold in 1936 in Berlin. It is a wonderful story of perseverance and pushing through and going well beyond where you think you should be. It's a great. The great thing about the book It's historical. And, I knew how the story ended. I knew. But the last couple of chapters, my goodness, what a great ode to the author for getting you on the edge of the seat when you know how it's going to end. It's called The Boys in the Boat. Two good reads I suggest to you from Bill Maher and, what's his name? Daniel James Brown for The Boys in the Boat. Much better than the movie, which is always the case. Before I start rambling, let me say thank you. Those are my thoughts for what they're worth. I'm Jared Willits.